Hey, how are you doing? My name is Brent Siebold. I'm with ASU Entrepreneurship and Innovation. I also have a faculty appointment within our Fulton Schools of Engineering. Very proud to speak to you today about innovation at ASU. I'm part of a team where we're helping to dispel the power of innovation across the university and hopefully beyond the university as well, to talk about the power of this art and science and research methodology to hopefully make the world a better place. So the first question we always get is, what exactly is innovation? I see the billboards, I see the bus, I see all the rankings several years in a row. ASU is #1 in innovation, but what exactly does that mean? So if you're asking this question, you're not alone. If you're in a team, if you're part of a group and you want to hopefully rally together to solve for X, make the world a better place, hopefully this helps get you started. So I want to give a disclaimer here. This is not a sanctioned definition by any means. We have sourced definitions of innovations from some pretty big thinkers, our president, Michael Crow included, Setharama and Panchanathan, our chief innovation officer here at ASU, have chimed in on definitions of innovation at ASU, and we have those curated for you on our website if you'd like to take a look at those. But for me, as a faculty member in the classroom teaching entrepreneurship and innovation, we have to have a very succinct definition, hopefully for our students and also for our faculty and staff to have in their back pocket. And right now, we have a great definition. Innovation is something that's new and better. And what we're adding onto that here recently is this concept of value creation, developing something that your fellow humans will value either intrinsically or extrinsically. So my working definition of innovation is something new and better that humans value. So let's unpack this just a little bit, give you a couple of examples. So what I'd like to introduce is almost like a continuum of this definition. So can innovation be innovation if it checks only certain boxes on this continuum of the definition I just provided? So is it innovative if it's new? I would argue yes. The root word for innovation is novus, meaning new. So if you've developed something new and it's novel, we could call that innovation. That's fine. However, we want to potentially, if we can, work on this sliding scale, this continuum, to get to the holy grail of innovation, which is creating value for other human beings or other organizations. So we'll talk through each one of these. So if it's new, you see an icon there of a patent. There's a lot of new inventions that have been protected through the Patent Office of the United States and elsewhere. Let's look at an example. In the realm of transportation, walking is kind of the status quo, and there's pain points affiliated with walking, sometimes in the elements. So here an inventor came up with a new technology, in this case umbrellas for each shoe, to keep apparently these very nice shoes clean and dry in wet weather. So this is in fact innovation, because it is a new technology that in all likelihood has been patented. So kudos to this inventor, but it brings us back to our sliding scale. Is that particular solution better than the status quo, meaning having a towel to wipe off your shoes or potentially changing shoes? I'll leave that up to the marketplace to decide, but many of you out there might argue that it is a new invention. It's beyond the status quo of walking, but it might not be better. So then we had another group of inventors a couple decades ago unveil this product called the Segway. And so we asked the question, is it new? It's absolutely new. It's novel. It has this cool gyroscope in it, and it's better than walking for sure, especially if you're lazy like me. So it's new and it's better. But then again, we asked zoom out, look at the sliding scale and say, is it new, better, and valuable? And so for those of you that own a Segway, you were absolutely saying, yes, it has value. I was very happy to part ways with $2,999 a couple of years ago when I bought one. But most of us did not see the value in investing in this product for one reason or another. Many police departments did, many tourist companies did, but for the most part, it checked the box of being new and better than walking, but it didn't necessarily have a value proposition that was widely spread. So what we're trying to do here in the realm of innovation at ASU is to get as close as we can to checking off all three of these boxes as we proceed with doing our work on a daily basis, or when we're tackling grand challenges, or whatever it is that we want to do to help make the world a better place. So value equals love. We are attempting to build either a product or a service or a methodology that people love and will deviate away from the status quo, which in this example is walking, to part ways with something of value to gain access to this new product, service, device, technology, whatever you want to call it. So recently we've been invaded here on the Tempe campus with these electric scooters. And so let's look at this example. So is it new? Absolutely. It's new technology combining very lightweight electric motors with very simple to operate scooter technologies. Is it better than walking? These students say yes. Is it valuable? Absolutely. They're swiping their credit cards ad nauseum to have access to these scooters to get around the sprawling campuses that we have in Metro Phoenix area. So now I know many of you might not agree, just like the Segway was valuable for the police departments, not so enthralled with this particular solution. But when we're looking at the impact of an innovation, one of the questions we want to ask about the innovation, is it repeatable and is it scalable? So in this particular case, the answer is absolutely yes. This innovation checks all three boxes. It's new, better, and valuable at scale to a broad cross-section of the population. So now that we've run through those examples, I do want to leave you with one piece about value. There's two types of value. As you go through this difficult process of managing innovation, you're going to get very frustrated, as we'll learn in some of the steps I'll introduce in a second. There's two types of value we can produce through the innovation exercise. There's intrinsic value, and that's kind of a learning value. So there's a lot of value when it comes to addressing that burning pain point that you and your team members might have to solve for X. So even if you don't come up with a better or valuable solution that may have extrinsic value out in the marketplace, you did develop a lot of value along the way of attempting to solve for X. So that's going to feed into your next iteration of trying to make the world a better place. So don't discount the process of innovation to produce intrinsic value for you and your team. And if you really get it right, and this is after years, oftentimes, of trial and error, then you're going to produce that extrinsic value, or what we call in the business world product market fit. Okay, so why is ASU number one in innovation? Well, the reason, again, by my definition, is pretty simple. We're new. We're the new American university. It's a new design for higher ed within the U.S. and globally. We're better than the competition because we have a very wide swath of folks that have deviated course, and they've had a whole host of options to go to some of our peer institutions. So they've chosen ASU for whatever reason because it's better for them. And then finally, we provide value because at last count, we have over 100,000 human beings that have given up something to be with us here today, whether it be time or tuition or some other option that they had in the marketplace. So we're at full scale in terms of providing value to a lot of humans that are looking to make the world a better place. So I feel the reason we're number one for innovation is because we're new, better, and provide great value at full scale year after year after year. So I'm very proud to be a part of this organization. So if you and your team want to be true innovators, jump on in. It's pretty simple to do. Here are 3 easy steps to get started. First of all, don't be anti-innovation. In other words, if you're satisfied with the status quo, you're probably not well positioned to be a good practicing innovator. So an easy way to kind of get over that initial hurdle is to hopefully care. If you care about your loved ones, your coworkers, your constituents, your students, whoever they might be, you are very well positioned to innovate. And then from there, hopefully you have an eye towards some of the pain points of these people that you know really well, whether it's your family or your team or your coworkers or your students. You know these people, you know what their friction points are. How can you improve the status quo situation for them just a little bit incrementally? And that feeds into the 3rd step. You just have to run experiments. How might we change the way that we do our work just a little bit differently, iteratively, and you do so relentlessly? Meaning, if you've got that intrinsic fire in your belly, You don't ever want to give up trying to make your situation and the situation that impacts many people in your scenario, make that much better for them. So it's all about caring, improving, and experimenting with the end goal of being new, better, and creating value. So I hope this helps get you and your team teed up to be expert innovators. I want you to adopt an entrepreneurial mindset, aka an innovator's mindset. And here at ASU, we're going to continue to be number one. Go Devils.